I don't understand. This is not what we voted for. This is exactly what you voted for. No, how can he do this? I've supported him through thick and thin. We told you. No, he promised to only deport the dangerous Latinos, not the good ones. Oh, you dumb fucking bitch. Why are you being so mean? I'm being mean. We have to fight this together. Oh, now you want to fight together? I didn't think it was going to turn out this way. Haven't you been listening to all his speeches since 2016? No, this is not the Trump I voted for. He's exactly who you voted for. All we want is a better economy. That's all we want. We love this country. Oh God, I can't believe this. My parents were Cuban refugees. And you still voted for him. They came here for a better and safer life. Like every refugee, but that didn't stop you from founding Latinas for Trump, which is like the dumbest thing. It's like cockroaches for raid. You lack empathy and you are dumb.
Hello guys, I hope you're doing fine wherever you're watching us from. And today's episode, we want to look at the call for unity of Black community and the brown community, or rather the call for unity of minority community in America. But though I don't think that this is the right time for the brown community to call for minority unity, because right now they are facing the problem of deportation. The ISIS is actually terrorizing them. But I think the call of unity for the minority community will leave the white supremacy exposed. But I think what the Black people should do, they should wait first for the brown community, the Latinos, first of all, to learn their lesson the hard way, because they elected this regime that is actually mistreating them, that is actually deporting them. Then after that, we can really talk about the unity after they have faced the consequences. And I think this unity, if it will come to happen, will leave the white supremacy exposed. Let's watch the video and then I come back with more of my commentary. If you're watching us for the first time, please don't forget to hit that subscription button. Let's dive in.
I see them down in my comment section and in the comment sections of other content creators talking about we all need to come together. All marginalized groups need to come together. Black and brown people need to come together. The time to come together was on November 5th when it counted. We didn't have to shed blood. We didn't have to fight. We didn't have to sweat. We didn't have to shed tears. All we needed to do was walk into the voting booth and vote accordingly against Donald Trump and for Kamala Harris. And all Black and brown people didn't do that. All marginalized communities didn't do that. But now you want people to shed blood, to exert crazy amounts of energy, to put themselves in danger to come together now because you're in the hot seat. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to put myself in danger. I don't want my son to put himself in danger. I don't have the strength. I don't have the energy. Yeah, I don't want to do that. And I'm seeing all of these Latinas and Latinos using their platforms finally to try to chastise other people who aren't running out into them streets. I want you to understand, on November 5th, the 92% and the 80%, we stood 10 toes down with you. We stood with you. The problem is, and the reason why we're here today, is because you didn't stand with us. These didn't.
No. Don't do it. Don't do it yet again. How many people have we stood with and helped them fight for all of our freedom? And in the end, they end up way in the front of the line, and we're still at the end with them telling us, oh, it's coming. It just takes time. Don't do it, or you will end up being me at 72, sitting some fucking where, wondering how much longer, wondering what if we had chosen differently. One of the last arguments I had with my mother before she passed, I told her that they chose wrong. Martin, cute, but Malcolm would have been much more effective. Keep your ass home.
I just got out of my bed because I had to say enough. I am tired of y'all sitting here trying to create a narrative that the 92% is nothing but buying into the xenophobic Christian nationalist pipeline right now and trying to guilt trip us into believing that we are the party that is wrong because we are not physically putting our bodies out there to assist the Latinx community, the Muslim community, or anybody else in the motherfuckers out there, the POC communities, in the deportation raids and all the harm that's happening to them. I'm tired of y'all, because if black people did not go out there and vote, you would have told us it was our fault and our ancestors died and put themselves on the line to give us these rights to make some level of change and political change for not just ourselves but for the country itself, and we didn't do our due diligence. But black people came out and turned out and did what they needed to do. There were black people we have in our family members that never even voted before because they don't even believe that the process is real, and they turned out to make sure that this man did not get in office. Not only did we put our communities on the forefront in our thought process, we put everybody's health and safety on the front line. Xenophobia was not the display based off of the political decisions of the 92%. And I know you keep talking about black women because nobody else turned out at 92% besides black women. You are not going to constantly place the blame and the guilt on the shoulders of fucking black women in this goddamn country. You are not going to consistently call us fucking ghetto, ratchet, uneducated, and disgusting and undesirable and think that I'm going to put on my fucking pressed-on nails and hold a sign up and play security guard for a group of people that did not give a fuck about what my people had to say. You are not going to convince us that we were wrong for just voting regardless, because every goddamn institution is the same and they're both buddies and they play on the golf course. And we specifically told you that the revolution that you had in mind was not well thought out. It was not strategic and you still needed help. You decided to not listen to a group of people that had resistance and strategy and revolutions in their fucking blood, and who consistently are the ones who do the most organizing and advocating for people in their communities and outside. We told you, get the bitch in office. Once you get her ass in office, we can run her ass dry for everything that we fucking need, and we gonna be able to possibly take her down. That's what we said, and you decided to tell us to shut the fuck up. You decided to display anti-blackness, and now you sitting on the internet fucking crying, and you got your goddamn token ass friends coming at us talking about we're not doing our due diligence as black Americans. I am at it with y'all. Shut up. You are not going to keep placing the blame on black people and the responsibility on black people who have thoroughly, historically, and currently done their most efforts and due diligence to protect not only their fucking kids, but for everybody in this goddamn country. Our resumes is hella long and it is hella viable. Enough. You are not going to constantly put this narrative on us. You are not going to not take accountability and responsibility for the communities that actually did what they're going to do. You are not going to constantly tell black people, oh, stop blaming the Latinx community. Why are you not blaming white people for their voices? Why the fuck would I blame white people for voting within their best interest? Bitch, it was you. Let's talk about the colorism and the xenophobia that was displayed within the Latinx community. You all decided not to vote within your best interest because you no longer wanted extra immigrants from Venezuela and Argentina to come into America. You a fucking immigrant yourself. Your parents are fucking immigrants yourself. yourself. You just got off the fucking plane not too long ago, and you decided that it was worth putting your safety and your house at risk just to block other people from getting over here into this land and experiencing a better life. You have the nerve and the audacity to sit there and think that somebody else should play a shield for you? Black women have never been ignorant and unaware of the harm that was going to come our way for putting that goddamn Frosty Cheeto back into the office. You were. You had no plans. You've done nothing. You've had nothing to do, but you sit on this fucking internet and cry and think that our black educators should sit there and protect your children. If it was a bunch of black children that was being harmed in school systems and going missing, you would sit there and tell us that you were just complying with the fucking law. Stop talking to me and the rest of the black women about this. The struggles in this land and slavery and all that you're trying to tell us, well, if they get harmed first, they're coming for you next. We knew that, bitch, because the harm never stopped coming for us. It is outlandish for you to believe that we were that obtuse into knowing that the harm against the black community was going to be next in line. Nigga, it never stopped being first in line, quite frankly. It is only on paper that they decided to put on a stamp and through a pen ink that we have been seen as legally free for 59 motherfucking years. My parents are older than 59 years old. My grandmother is 84 years old. My grandmother that just recently passed died at 92 years old. I don't want to hear shit. We all know that the institutions of racism, all they did was just rename them and reroute them, that they never actually stopped. We are still slaves within this goddamn land. We just don't have the physical chains to show everybody, and we can't be unalived or strung up from a fucking tree. Do not talk to me like I am a damn buffoon and I don't understand the dangers of what's happening to you and what can happen next to me. Bitch, you didn't care about the dangers that was happening to my son. You didn't give a fuck about what was going to happen to me every single goddamn day when I walked out my damn door. You were selfish. You were a mindless bot. You were disrespectful. You were anti-black. And now you are on the first one on the chopping block, and you are going to have to pay some consequences for your decisions. You are going to stop getting on this internet discussing accountability with a bunch of black women over some goddamn wigs, weaves, lashes, and nails, and you won't be accountable for your goddamn community's choices. Black women are out here being arrested, yelling solidarity to the death of me, and a bunch of goddamn white liberals and Hispanic communities is watching her and recording her being arrested. You want us to be a revolutionary right there? Well, here is your time to shine right now. Put something in order. Put a play in order. Show me the strategy. Give me the fucking plan. Put the layout in. And I stand behind you. But what you're not going to do is convince us to constantly stand outside like all them goddamn POCs is not going to run behind us like we some goddamn target practices shields. I'm not the proof. I'm not Superman or Supergirl. Find somebody else to do it. And you know, sis, that's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. That's the worst part about this situation. Like, we come literally from a group of people that said, I'm willing to unalive and go down fighting for my fucking people. That's the blood that's literally running through our veins. That's our ancestry. Whether you a black American person like myself, or even if you are a Caribbean American person or a fucking African, that's the blood that runs through our veins. We have an ancestry of people, a lineage of people that was willing to literally be sacrificial for one another. Literally, they said, I'll go down if it means helping some other one of my people get to freedom. Carry the lineage, carry the culture, speak out, be voices for us, because we're not going to all possibly make it. And that's not how these people are coming and coded. They're coming, sitting there talking about save me, and literally not paying any mind to us. I know it sounds silly, but literally this is what Sinners was just depicting. Like, and so many people still overglaze the fucking message. Yes, it was about stop inviting people to the cookout, and it may sound silly. People will probably say it's just a movie, but art is a depiction of life. That specific art was a depiction of not only current life, but also history. Those people, all of those black people in that barn was willing to go out on the line for Sammy. They said, carry your gift. Sing your music. Do not go down. He's a kid. He deserves better. They fought to protect each other. They fought to protect Sammy. They was not about to go out there and say, give him to you, you on your own. His cousins fought for him. Them women, Pearline, sacrificed herself for him. Even Delroy Linda literally helped his people and said, you know what? I'm old. I've lived my life. It is what it is. He cut himself in his arms just so the savages can have something to feast, so that they can fight a little bit easier and then have a bunch of them on their backs. You get what I'm saying? But look at the person that wasn't black. Look at the person that's there. Come on in. It didn't matter. She didn't give a fuck. Every black person in that barn lost their life. That entire community is damn near done and unalived and raided through, because she decided to say, I don't give a fuck about what's going to happen to y'all. And those people said, we family. We got got you. You won't be all right. You really think that if they didn't stay out till the morning, they wouldn't have found a way, a strategy to protect her and her daughter? They probably would have found any way to get her out of there. Hell, they probably would have no longer even been in work because his focus was Sammy. And this is what I'm saying. They're not coming with that energy for us. They're coming in here looking at us like, well, this is what you do. You should be okay with being in a fight and flight mode for everybody to fuck else 24/7. Excuse me? Black women's bodies are literally being scoped out right now on the line. That lady Adriana, if her body is able to produce a functional baby, regardless of health issues or not, and that baby doesn't immediately pass away once it is forced birthed out of her, do you know what is about to happen to black women? The level of scare for us to even go into the emergency room, because we are seen now as viable experiments, plants, animals that they can work on. Our bodies is going to be seen as so strong that they will probably try to implant things for their population, or just force us to birth more children just to have more goddamn slave labor. This is what we are up against right now. Black men are coming up missing, and their unalivings are being written down as suicides right now, and they're hanging from a damn oak tree. Twins is going missing. Carmelo Anthony is being dictated and being seen as being premeditated unaliver after being viciously attacked for a racist attack and bigoted child for no apparent reason. And you sitting here talking to me about this? You're not even having any conversation about how the actions and your choices of the vote that you did in November has caused chaos for everybody. How many millions of people is getting ready to not have health insurance? How many hospitals is possibly going to shut down? How many elderly people is going to be trying to take care of the elderly and having bills to pay to try to get the medications for their family? How many people are not going to be able, more medical bias is going to happen, more hospitals are going to shut down, more people are going to leave the health industry from being stressed out and overworked, more people are going to be ignored. We're going to have to try to find ways to just survive off the land of a chemical jacked up piece of land anymore. Do you know how that's going to harm the population that's already being ignored and told that we ain't never in pain? You ain't saying nothing about none of these situations. You sitting here telling you about your deportation, and it's not to say that it is matter, but everything else that is happening and going on, and you sitting there looking at us like, so, but what about me? No. If I'm going to go down fighting, if I'm going to have to do everything in my body, I'm going to reserve and conserve my energy. I'm going to encourage all of my people to reserve and conserve their energy. Get their tools up. Educate yourself. Be prepared to go out there and shed something for one another. It is my responsibility to care about my community, my culture, my lineage, and to be around here to try to raise my child as long as possible, and to be around here to take care of my spouse and be each other's support system for as long as possible. It ain't to be a sacrificial lamb for a bunch of people that want to sit on the internet and argue and tell me that they should have the right to say nigga 24/7. Oh my God, they heat me. Child, they heat me. They heat me.
Hey guys, I've been seeing a lot of Latinos and Hispanics videos popping up, and they're in tears, they're fearful, they're in panic mode, and it's sad to see. And it's even sadder when you know they voted this in upon themselves, and now they're reaping the repercussions, and now they're coming out crying and pleading, and there's nothing anybody can do right now. He's even boosted this thing up because they weren't picking up enough people. So now he's just telling them to pick up any and everybody. If you notice, they're not going to bad areas of towns or bad areas of cities and going into the gang infested communities. They're not going to those communities. They're not going looking, hanging out on who's hanging out on the corners or hanging around certain establishments or whatever. No, they're going to workplaces. They're going to courts. They're going to communities where families are there. They're going to graduations. Yeah, they went to elementary school graduation and started trying to pick up the parents of the kids who were graduating. They were saying the parents had to run and leave their kids because they had to flee. So now, because they haven't deported as many people as Biden did legally, now they want to ramp up, and they're telling them just pick up anybody. So they're going in neighborhoods. They're going in, like I said, they're going on job sites, Home Depot. Where are the criminals? What criminal do you know is on a job site? The criminals that they said they were going to be deporting, the hardcore criminals. What criminal do you know is on a job site? What criminal do you know is going to court? And now you guys are up. Excuse my French. I'm not going to even say it. Y'all up the creek without a paddle. And it's nothing anybody can do. Because he has a stick up his butt about this particular topic. And because y'all gave him the ammo, he's blowing y'all away. Y'all were begged not to vote for this man. You were pleaded with to do not put this man in office. You were reasoned with, you were educated as to why. We didn't just say don't do it. We were telling you the reasons not to do it. But you didn't want to hear that from us. Y'all didn't want to hear one word came out of y'all mouth. You were so arrogant on this social media. One guy was on here hollering out he was going to make it his business to make sure that loses. And was referring to Kamala Harris. So y'all were out here verbally, very boastfully, verbally letting us know what your agenda was, what your intention was, but you got it. He got in office, Kamala Harris did. Now look. Look. LA is almost on fire. They're picking up people who are actually citizens that were born here because y'all voted for this. They're terrorizing your communities now because y'all voted for this. They're showing up at the courts hearing where you're trying to go become illegal, to become legal citizens. They're coming there and snatching y'all as soon as you come out the court room because y'all voted for this. Everything I say they're doing now, I could finish with because y'all voted for this. And now that the chickens have come home to roost, there's nothing anybody can do right now. Because as you can see, the more protesters come out, the more deranged he gets. Pete Hegseth has said that he wants to release the Marines. That's on top of the National Guards. Because y'all voted for this. Y'all had no idea that the people you were trusting were just salivating. They were salivating in the background. Just saying, ooh, come on November 5th. Come on November. Come on November. Come on. I'm waiting. They were salivating. Waiting for the day that they could unleash their true feelings. And now it's out there. And all the warnings, all the pleading, all the begging, all the educating, nothing. It came up with nothing. And now that it's biting you really, really hard, you're begging and pleading for people to come help. How are we going to come and help? What are we going to come and do? Tell us. Because the minute we come out there, what they're just starting to do now, with the tear gas and the rubber bullets, that's going to escalate to real bullets and who knows what else. It's too late. The time to ask for help was before the election. The time to plead for help was before you went into that booth. Help me go into that booth and make the most intelligent, the most prosperous vote I can make for me and my family. But y'all wanted to link up. Y'all wanted to link up with a whole other group of people. And you were willing to sacrifice everything. Everything. You guys have lost your businesses. You've lost your homes. You've lost your family. You've lost your freedom. And God forbid, some of y'all might even have lost your lives. The damage is done. The damage is done. The only saving grace that will be left for you is that Rockland, New York hand count comes back and shows complete fraud. And I bet you if that happens, I bet you every penny I got, all those reasons y'all didn't want Kamala Harris in there, all that disdain you had for Kamala Harris, all that disrespect, I bet you that flies out the window so damn fast. Because you know, when you see that woman come in that office, all this chaos cease. All this torture cease. All this mayhem cease. That y'all do know. Because you know why? Because you lived what we tried to tell you. But you weren't going to listen to us. You weren't going to take it. You had to experience it. So now that you're experiencing, hopefully when the time comes for you to make a decision like this again, hopefully you'll remember these days. Hopefully you'll remember these 100 and something days. And you'll reflect. And you'll do something different. You'll make intelligent decisions, not decisions based on feelings. Not decisions based on triggers, but decisions based on facts. So you don't sit up here and put you and your family in harm's way again. Hopefully, anyway. But praying that the best works out, the best outcome comes out, praying for covering, and most importantly, praying from learning from this, praying that somebody learns from this. I got to get out of here, but before I go, Latinos for Trump, Hispanics for Trump, is this what you consider great again? My friend's still asking.
Some of you guys may not like this post. Okay, it has to be said. Having a platform gives me where I need to make a stand and say. And there's a lot going on with ICE right now. And I'm going to say, you know, this may get muted because they love to mute my political videos, but we're going to try. Some of you guys with the black and brown unity right now going on, I'm reading tons out there on threads and social media. And some of you guys say that this is not our fight. This isn't our fight. I just want you to pause and think that when ICE raids homes and when migrants are detained, if injustice anywhere is allowed, it becomes injustice everywhere. This ain't just about them. It's about all of us. It's about every single one of us. Black people have every single right to be exhausted and to be tired. They have carried centuries of protests and fighting for their rights. But I want you to ask yourself, who benefits when we are divided? Because white supremacy loves when we say that's their issue. Read history, really read history, and you'll find that they wanted to create division with us. Because then it doesn't have to fight unity. They want us scared. They want us quiet because they know that when black, brown, and indigenous people stand together, we're truly unstoppable. Not just in marches, but in strategy and policy and power. And yes, we've been betrayed before. Yes, anti-blackness exists in immigrant communities. But healing doesn't happen in silence, and liberation won't come from watching another family be ripped apart and thinking, well, that's not my business. To say they should have voted, that there's certain Hispanic people that should have voted, or they should have voted differently, or whoever you want to say should have voted, shouldn't voted, done differently, all of that. You're not focusing that the system is really rigged and restricts those that are still This still restricts those that are allowed to vote. So you're assuming that everyone has the same access, and it blames the oppressed for their oppression. I'm just gonna pause on that. And it gives the real enemy a pass. When you say if we protest ICE, the police are gonna come for us, ask yourself, when have they ever not come for us? When have they ever not come for us? I don't care, black, brown, whatever. When have they not come for us? Solidarity won't make us more targeted. Silence just makes them bolder. Protesting ICE is protesting systems that believe cages are solutions. It's protesting state violence. It's protesting dehumanization. If we don't stand now, we teach the system how to treat us next. You don't have to be in the streets to be in the fight. You don't. Support organizers, share truth, sign petitions, use your voice, use your platform, because what they do to us today is what they will do to us tomorrow. That's it.
Which black people are you talking about that you say should stand with their brown brothers and sisters? Is it the black people that your daddies and your mommies tell you not to bring home? Is it those black people? Or is it the black Latinos and Hispanic people that y'all discriminate against?
Yeah, welcome back. I think most of the Latinos, as evident in this video, they are calling for black unity, and they are calling for other minority groups to actually unite against the white supremacy. And I think that the white palm community is actually worried, and but this thing will eventually occur because they have actually betrayed the Latinos, they have betrayed the Cubans. But as black community had warned earlier, these are the consequences the Latinos are actually facing. So as the black community will actually wait for the Latinos and the Cubans to learn their lesson, to know that when the blacks said that we should fight for justice for all, what it meant, because right now they are actually facing the consequences of their choices. They actually associated with the white palm community, and as we all know that the white palm community doesn't care about other communities. They only care about themselves. They only care for their benefits, and they always use other minority community to actually win an election. But I think it's a good thing if the minority community will come together and expose the white supremacists. But this is after the Latinos and the Cubans have learned their lesson, because earlier in September the black community actually won, and the black community actually convinced other minority community to actually vote against this regime, but they never listened. And I think after that the black community have chosen to be watching in silence. I remember the April protest. The white community tried to gaslight the black community to come and fight or protest together, but the black community said no. You voted for this regime, go and protest alone. And right now we are also witnessing the same silence. The Latinos and the Cubans are being hunted up and down like animals by the ISIS, and the black community is saying no, because when we needed that unity, you never showed. You associated with the oppressors. Then why should we come right now and try to protest against the government that you elected? And I think that I'm actually happy because the black community have known their price, and they will no longer be involved in the mess that they never created. They will never be involved in the mess that they actually warned against. And this is a good thing, and I think that the minority community will learn this lesson, and in future, when we will call for the real unity, the unity of purpose, the unity for justice for all the minority community will join hands together. Because I think you know, voting for a person that looks like you doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to benefit from it. Look at the white farmers in Nebraska. They are actually crying. They are going bankrupt, and they are also going with shortage of workers because most of the workers were Latinos, and they have been deported. And right now, they are crying that the black people should come and help us workers to actually revive their farms. But I think that the black people are not going to heed to those calls because all along they want us to work together. But when it comes to electing or giving privilege, they will always choose people who look like them. Let me know what you think about the brown community advocating for minority unity at this time that they are being deported. Let me know what you think about this episode, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do so, and let's meet in my next video. Thank you.